I mean, aren't they the greatest generation? It's good that they're going to have one last chance to
Yeah,
prove
I'm
it.
going to miss Dan Rather's tweets.
Well, I would just like to say that it seems like once again the issues with Andy Crew has proven to be out front leaders in what is surely to be the only entertainment there is from here on out. People sequestered in their houses talking to each other on Skype.
Just make sure your issues with Andy viewer groups are less than 8.
Oh, I don't think we need to worry about that.
Yeah. We don't want to have to shut this shit down NBA style.
Yeah. We're 30 episodes ahead of everybody else, though, so I think that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of snowballed, didn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Like I think Harvey Weinstein tried to warn us if they put him in jail, there's going to be a lot of fucking repercussions.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my God. Yeah, I was in the car last night. I was on the way to a gig and I listened to Trump's speech from the Oval Office. And it's the very first time that I've ever only listened to him.
Yeah.
Which is I had no idea. It's a completely different dynamic. Because when you're just hearing his voice, he really sounded tired and old and like he was gasping for breath. I'm like, I wanted to tune in because I had the impression that he was going to keel over at the desk and I was going to miss it.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing a YouTube podcast by the way he looked on TV. Like, holy shit, does this guy know where the camera is even?
He dropped his microphone 3 times. What the fuck is this guy's issue?
So now
issues with Donnie.
Yeah.
Now the only show on, that's the only show on now. You know, every distraction we had is now gone.
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit. It's a 24/7 shit show, except for right here.
we were ready for
a week shit show.
We're we're 1 hour. We're a 60-minute shit show.
In this coronavirus environment, we may have to be forced to do more programming here at the Issues with Andy headquarters. So
I'm glad there's nobody that has asked me about, like, I couldn't imagine having a little kid and trying to explain what's going on. Like, you know, Black Death, you know, the plague.
Reacting? You don't know how to say people are overreacting to a little kid?
Well, yeah, but it's like I don't know. I mean, we'll discuss that in issues 35 if it's overreaction, because
James
I think it's
from the store right now and informed me, as I was joking with her. I go, "Was it out of toilet paper?" And she goes, "You know what? There was people talking about that. There was no toilet paper, and I thought it was weird." And I go, "Yeah, because people are fucking idiots."
Yeah.
I went to Costco the other day and I saw that there was the line and it was snaked all the way around, went all the way around the shopping carts, a longer line than anything I've ever seen at Christmas at a Costco. And then when the door opened, they opened that thing. I squeezed up because I'm not waiting in line with those fucking old people. They're all breathing death, you know? So I go up there and then I see they're like old people who haven't moved that fast in years. We're fucking hustling and it's beautiful because the toilet paper is all the way in back of the store. So it was like the slowest fucking pathetic marathon going on there of old people. It's just so good. You know,
that's
it's like
the only
I don't
ones that
want to
really
live.
should be worried about it, and we don't really need that many old people. We've already discussed this.
And they're going to Costco to get the coronavirus.
Right.
Ironically,
that's what's
going to happen. Paper.
I assume that the Chinese have already infiltrated
doesn't give you the shits, Erickson.
What
it gives you a cough.
What if the Chinese just, were packing that toilet paper, blowing coronavirus all over it, and then it's just perfect. It's like fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, It's
I
a
had
good
lunch.
thing that I have running water since there's not any toilet paper at the store. Fucking bunch of morons.
That's what I was going to say. I owe Shaylee a big thank you because it turns out that bidet purchase a couple years back is looking pretty fucking good right now.
Yeah,
I thought I
no run on bidets.
no,
It's
I
really weird.
I I thought I was pampering myself, but it turns out I was just doomsday prepping.
I've never seen people run for toilet paper, but I have seen people fast walk awkwardly, not really moving their legs too far
And-
apart.
That's the same walk that people who have to take a shit really bad do. So sometimes it could be that.
Right? Yeah, when you see that,
Yeah, I know.
really, I've been kind of like on the edge for a long time, and then to see people hustling back for toilet paper, it's like, man, I guess I've already, I quit. If it comes down to I gotta have toilet paper or I don't, it was a good run. Sort of.
We live in the United States of America. You could fill your bath halfway with water, sit in it, shit, clean your ass as it's fucking draining down the thing, and you don't need toilet paper in a fucking United States. We have water.
Yeah, I'm gonna offer to hose off neighbors' assholes in a few weeks. Get the garden hose out and just spray assholes.
Oh, like a community car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get like a skating club or something.
That's not gonna spread coronavirus all over the neighborhood, Andy. Just water mist of shit flying out. You're gonna create a new disease.
What we should be
Wet
doing is
environment.
getting little micro dosing coronavirus. Just little micro doses so we
Yeah.
don't trip all out when it hits us all
You
at once.
realize it's just a fucking mild cold, right? Like I've had one for the last month. It's not a big deal unless you have a compromised fucking body anyway.
Right.
All you're doing gets a cold, and then you're gonna get over it. So that's what I'm talking about when I say people are overreacting.
Yes, that is true. I told my parents they're in Houston and they've been smokers for 50 years. So they're at my aunt's house. And I said, here's what you do. You go to the liquor store, you get as much vodka as you can, and then you hunker down and fucking read books and play Parcheesi for the next 3 weeks. And I'm like, you're good. Because they're the ones who are going to fucking die. They've been smoking forever. Like they can barely breathe as it is.
Yeah.
So,
I was at my grandparents' house talking. Realized once again, because I've only been hanging out with you guys for the last 10 years, that I have no filter to talk to regular people anymore. So everybody's talking about it. I go, it's just going to kill old people. Who the fuck cares? My grandparents are both sitting there in their mid 80s going,
Yeah.
You re-scan the room. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, there's some people in front of me in a line at Albertsons talking about it, and I got up there and I go, "Well, sure going to be some great estate sales in a couple of weeks," and yeah, it didn't get a response at all. It was like,
Clorox wipes
Yeah.
at a estate sale, and you're set.
yeah. So,
I'll tell you what, we've all experienced the traffic jams in Andy. You've seen that up in Seattle, LA especially. Last week's shows in Seattle. What a treat!
yeah.
Really?
Pandemic Seattle, where you can get to the airport without touching the brake from Seattle to SeaTac
wow.
in
Yeah.
like 8 minutes. We went out with a friend of mine. Tracy and I went out with a friend of mine, Jen, and she goes on Friday night. She goes, "Hey, we'll go to this place over down by the university." I go, "Oh, are you 8 o'clock on a Friday? We'll never get in." Half house. We walked right in, and they couldn't have been happier to see us when we
Yeah.
got there. And it was really a pre-90s vibe in Seattle, where like the lanes are wide open.
Stanhope's got to be loving the road then, I guess, now,
Well, I mean,
huh?
he's in airport.
Oh, no, he's flying all over. That sucks.
Yeah, we would see him in Boise, and then he would go take the plane and be there. I mean, he got to the fucking plane in Spokane from the airport hotel where we found the gun. In 12 minutes, he was already through security, and he had to wait for 2.5 hours. I go,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
You got to Seattle 30 minutes before we did, and we drove.
Brendan Walsh posted a video of LAX. It looks like they're filming a zombie apocalypse movie there.
Yeah.
There's not a person around. I was like, this is looking up for travel.
If you could scramble a full crew, it would be a great time to do a zombie movie. I always thought that
just guerrilla
New Year's
style
Day,
shooting.
New Year's, yeah, like John Norris and I used to talk about it, of like just on New Year's Day, you get everyone and you go just guerrilla film, like basically a 28 days later, but on like a small budget. You could do it because there's nobody there. Now it's like fucking perfect.
You could do a chase scene by just getting to Costco first. Set some GoPros around.
But you could film it in real high speed, but you just go real slow because they're in real time. The walkers behind you, so you'd have to go real slow. Ah!
The end of the world is fucking boring, right? It's
That comes down to no toilet paper, not getting your face eaten off.
Yeah.
It's no toilet paper or a hand sanitizer.
You know what's really going to be the nice ironic twist on this is that in 9 days, 10 days, something like that, there's supposed to be a big Unbookables reunion show in Los Angeles at the world famous Comedy Store. Now, I've been contacted by one James Inman a number of times begging for a chance to promote this show here on this podcast. And we've been promoting it without him. And I've decided that his promoting it with us isn't going to help the promotion much. And I have also noticed he hasn't promoted it once on his own on any of his social media. But it's probably not going to matter because I think this is Thursday. We're going to know later today or tomorrow if the Comedy Store is even going to be able to stay open for the next couple of weeks because they just in California banned events larger than 250 people. So that means
we're safe.
Same for Seattle, by the way. Same for Seattle.
So
and last week's shows with Doug. Hold on a second. Last week's shows with Doug were the last shows at the Neptune because it's totally shut down. And they knew that was coming, and that's why they were so happy to actually have the turnout we had.
Wouldn't it be ironic if Inman finally did all of this work and bootstrapped himself up to fucking get a show together at the Comedy Store, and then God sent a plague upon the land?
That's what you get for helping him out.
I know.
It'd be funny if I didn't already spend $1,000 on travel arrangements. That'd be hilarious.
No, dude, that's the best. That's the best part. You can still come up here and we can still do the podcast. We needed this show.
That's true.
Check this out, guys. I'm up here with my brother. It's our 21st year going to St. Louis.
Wait, how do we know this isn't? Oh.
Busted our ass to get the fucking truck filled. The guy showed it was supposed to be here at 5. He was here at 5. We finished loading the truck at 8:30 after our fucking forklift took a shit with the last 2 boxes to go in the back of the 35-foot container, right? Got the call today. Show's canceled.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, everything's canceled this month. It's just done. All St. Patrick's Day parades are canceled across the country. I mean, everything's done. It's crazy. Like you said, Andy, it's interesting because now all the distractions are gone. All we get to look at is,
God.
This is us. This is us in real life.
I got a major fucking chewing out about something today, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck here. This is going to go on for months.
This is your quarantine.
I don't have a gun. Is there? Hey, Chad, do you got a little Abe Lincoln-esque type shooter, a little Dillinger or something you could ship me?
You could put in your boot.
No, for my It's like.
Is that why you're growing that fucking pencil thin fucking weird mustache so that you can? In case the gun doesn't come in time, you can go on the lam and hide. What the fuck is happening there, dude?
I'm holding in the virus. If I,
Keep the
Yeah, you
droplets.
just get your germs out. I'm going to keep them right here, and then I'll shave it, and I'll be fresh to go. But
It's Andy's version of that stuff the coroner puts under his nose, the Noxema
yeah.
in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it right here so I can keep smelling it.
Hey, I'm not
Breathe it
going
in.
out. You think I'm going to risk my life to go get razors?
Well, it looks like you're shaving the other part of your face.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I ran out. I ran out in that part. Yeah,
Your razor broke down.
Hey, Shaylee has basically the same.
So, Shaylee, if the show's canceled, then you should be able to come do a podcast in Los Angeles.
I'm
with us.
not getting on a fucking plane at this point. I got to cancel
drive
flights
down.
already.
He's got.
Drive.
Yeah, you're not going to
No,
be selling.
We're still working at the shop because actually now's the time we have no distractions. Nice theme. We can actually get things done. I mean, that was insane going through what we've gone through this last week. Because in the middle of this, Tracy and I took off for a week to do road work with Doug. Thank you for everyone who came out and all the people talking about issues with Andy. A lot of people at the merch booth saying, "Hey, yeah, it was fantastic and it was fun and it was over before it even started." Came back here and went straight to work. But now we're thinking of options to. I mean, we still have to sell product. We still have to do something. We got a crew here of people that still have to pay rent. I mean, my brother's got, 6 employees, and it is basically our influx of money for the year was going to happen a week from today. Now,
it's crazy.
Damn.
Gone. Joe,
Yeah.
that's like Erickson. You no longer know how to tell a joke.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't make money that way. How do you make money?
Yakov
That wasn't
Smirnoff.
a dig. I
We
was
don't.
trying to get to a dig.
No, I
to
don't
Andy,
know.
But I
I don't
didn't
know how-
realize I
I'm
picked
thinking,
up on yours.
I'm thinking Yakov Smirnoff can go to his old notebooks. Like the toilet paper, huh? What a country! In my country, and we got all the punchlines are now currently going on. It fucking
But
sucks here.
That is, I mean, whether it becomes this crazy full-blown thing that all the professionals are saying or not, it is now grinding down the economy to the point to where now we're trying to figure out how we're going to pay the bills in this little tiny business that my brother has.
Right.
And that's nothing,
Yeah.
And we're having to contact all airlines, hotels. This is very interesting. Think of it this way: in St. Louis, this is the last I'll say about this. In St. Louis, there's a deal with the convention that's going on for that week that they make with the hotels. If you cancel your convention before the city cancels it, each hotel fines you $500,000.
Oh my God.
So the convention itself, what are you going to do?
You can't
wouldn't
do that.
cancel it on your own, no matter
Right.
how much you thought you should. You have
Right.
to wait for the fucking city to do it. And sometimes the city's run by a Republican who doesn't want to fucking freak out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It fucking
Yeah.
rolls uphill
Yeah.
all the way to the fucking top there. So, I mean, that's the reality of the situation. But I guess, we can still do.
Sometimes you've got the mayor of Amity running your city, and it's like the beaches are fine, the beaches are open. You can swim.
We still got Labor Day. We still got Labor Day.
We're gonna need more sharks.
Write that one down.
Oh man, yeah, I'm glad that it's finally paying off to be a fucking shut-in, a functioning alcoholic shut-in. Not bad.
But there's just I'm gonna run out of weed here in about shit.
Oh.
I don't even.
I don't know.
Well, I know, but it's like it's gonna take a couple of months. I was counting on a rapture contingency plan. I was hoping the Christians would get raptured and then I could go live in their place. But they're gonna be here with a bad cough.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only way the coronavirus would change your life. You would do the exact same thing you do every day now, except you would have a cough while you did it.
Well, you don't think I have
and
a cough?
And you cough 90% of the day from smoking weed anyway. It wouldn't even really be a change at all.
I know, but if everybody's doing what I'm doing, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, it's only adorable when he's the only one doing it.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
your
what-
thing. Your thing doesn't fall apart.
I'm worried about people that go around saying they're depressed all the time. I mean, now there's really something to worry about, you fucking lumps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine if everybody walked across the street against the crosswalk signal at the same time. I mean, it's
Following
great
Andy.
when it's great when Andy does it because he's the only one doing it.
Now, Chad, do you now see why I was trying to thin the herd?
You're trying to do it one at a time, and you're just going to get charges like that. If you get 9 or 12 of them out there, we can get lost in the fucking shuffle and get out of there. But
So you're suggesting I get a tour bus gig?
well,
Just
you
load
just
up,
carry
everybody.
around.
Load up,
Next
everybody.
time, you just carry toilet paper on your shoulders and then cross against the light, and people will follow right
Pied
after you.
Piper of Charmin.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
The
Hey,
pied
Erickson,
paper.
The
got a
shaman
question
of
for you.
Charmin.
Yeah. And people
Erickson,
are.
if they close, if the Comedy Store closes for shows, which it's not their decision. If it comes down from the governor, they have to. You'll still have access to do the podcast down in the room, right? Downstairs where you work.
I mean, I have no idea, honestly. What it's probably going to come down to is it's going to be the comedy store's decision on their own whether they close entirely. Because a ban on events more than 250 would really only shut down or possibly limit the amount of people they could put in the main room. The original room and the belly room are smaller than that. They could conceivably keep those open, but if Peter Shore wants to, Peter Shore has been from the beginning very diligent about things about this for the last couple weeks at the store. He might just decide it's best to close it down, whatever. I don't know. But here's the thing. Listen, it's going to be fine because right above me is an empty apartment that a Scotsman still pays rent on.
Oh,
so
shit, that's right.
Dude, and he never watches this podcast, so he'll never know. I've got a key. We can just go in there. That'll be Party Central. We'll podcast from there. We'll get a keg. It'll be fine. Listen, Julie Seabaugh
already, yeah.
Julie Seabaugh is staying there, but she's small. You know what I mean? She's thin. We won't see her much.
Why? I'm envisioning the party on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Stutter and Billy wheeling Hennigan's puppet around the apartment.
Yeah. So I mean, the podcast is on. I mean, Chad, you've already got your travel.
Yeah, I'm going one way or the other. So even if it's just to come up and
so we'll get together. And Shaylee, I would love it if you could find a way to get here, but I get it.
Yeah, I don't. It's,
I mean, you could just jump in a car. You just jump in a car and drive down for a couple of days and hang out.
Yep.
Just saying.
Probably the.
But I do think that even maybe by the time this comes out on Friday, we'll know something more about the show on the 23rd because the Comedy Store is going to have to make some decisions in the next 48 hours for sure. It'll be interesting.
Look out. Heads up.
I mean, maybe what we do when they shut everything down is let's just all head to Panamint and fucking grab some cabins and fucking ride it out in the fucking desert away from everybody. The viruses struggle when it's that hot, you know?
Yeah,
so
we should be lining up to get paper like the old people only getting LSD tabs and then fucking grab it, fucking throw it in a cart and fucking wheel it to the car and speed off to the desert. Great idea.
I've seen this movie before. Somebody will get a cough and then they'll shoot them. You're not spreading that. And then now we go, why did you shoot him? And we have a whole murder to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that X-Files. It happened at the ice station.
Wow, we had a throwdown gun. I should have been thinking about it and grabbed for the towel.
Man. You would have been the leader of the group. You would have immediately assumed leadership of the group.
Yeah, but there's 3 of you. I only had 2 bullets.
That's what makes the competition interesting. That's why that's a pitchable TV show at that point.
Absolutely, yeah.
But who would watch it? There won't be any viewers.
Twist ending. Jake kills all of them with a rock before anybody knows what happened. Oh, the bullets didn't even matter the whole time.
Wow. M. Night Shyamalan plot twist.
We're gonna have to up our murder game. Last time we had a person at Panama that needed murder and we let walk off. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to protect our paper supply out there in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
That would be
Yeah.
a good place to write it out, though. I'm not even kidding
The
about
the
that.
hilarious part is we'll probably be fucking speeding off in about 48 hours, 72 hours, whenever the fucking pox hits.
I just found toilet paper right here on my desk. I'm gonna eBay.
Dude, hold on to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Going on
dude, yeah.
That would be
Don't
funny.
even
Put it like
double. I can't even believe people are still two-plying, man. I'm separating them sheets.
Doubling up on your supply.
Oh fuck yeah! You know, couple of months, people will be looking at that single ply
Hey.
like it's gold.
People
Yeah, I
are so
know.
stupid. The paper towel aisle is completely full.
Right.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah. I heard.
Same with isopropyl alcohol.
I heard somebody grab some of those because the toilet paper was out. I was stocked up. I got there a couple of weeks early, but there was a guy who says, "Well, we can make do with some Bounty." Like, I don't, you know, shit, man.
That's
we
better
can
than
make do.
what? This thicker, fucking larger toilet paper won't work as well. I don't understand.
Yeah.
The plumbers love this fucking shit, man. The
Toilet
plumbers
paper
love hearing this
sucks.
crazy
no
knee-jerk
shit.
reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The plumbers convention isn't canceled.
I mean, look,
They're about to make
you already
money.
said it, Eric. Erickson, you already said it. Let's get with the game, everyone. A bidet. They're $40 on Amazon.
Yeah.
But if you look back to history, the history of toilet paper, they used to use fucking terry towels, like little rags, and they would throw them in what we still have water, right? Chad, you still got water?
Got
You
water.
live in the most remote area of all of us. You still got water in a desert. Yeah, I mean, it's so fucking. I don't even know why the toilet paper is a thing.
It's
It's like that thing, Erickson, when I used to live in Tampa, where they would always freak out because it was hurricane season. And I asked Jody, I go, like, in the history of the hurricanes that coming through this area, has one ever hit Tampa? She goes, no, never. It's too far inland. But all of a sudden, there's no sheets of plywood at the Home Depot, and everyone goes buying all this shit, including me. And I thought, what the
Well,
fuck? They never.
That's it. Because once the run starts, everyone, it's like why you get in a line when you don't even know what the line is for. You see a line and you're like, this must be something good. I better get in. So everyone starts buying toilet paper, and you don't want to be the asshole who didn't buy any when it was going. So it just fucking snowballs.
That's how I ended up getting Eagles tickets. It's like, hey, there's a big line of people. I'm like, what's going on, man? It's the Eagles. I started to leave, and I'm like, shit, man. Maybe I'll get an Eagles ticket. Yep. Yeah, it's I know. It's like, did somebody just say, during a crisis like this, the first thing that runs out is toilet paper, and then everybody dies up because their assholes are dirty, and then people, what? I mean, it's like some subliminal. I don't even know how that started. But,
I would think one of the news companies, somebody had a good idea. Hey, I know how we'll sell a bunch of clicks on this article. Let's do a story that everybody's buying up all the toilet paper, and then everybody reads it, and they go, everybody's buying up all the toilet paper, and then next thing you know, they're the ones buying up all the toilet paper. Because for a long time here, there was toilet paper all over. I noticed it whenever I went in the store just the other day. They had a whole end roll fucking pack full of toilet paper, and I go, all right, good. The fucking mass hysteria has not hit my town, and I can just buy toilet paper whenever the fuck I want. And no, Jenny said as of this morning, there's no toilet paper on the shelves in the service.
TP is 11.
So is that what happened to them over in Iran? I saw today there's a bunch of bodies. It's a picture aerial view of all these dead bodies. Is that no toilet paper? Is that what happens? You just fucking at the end,
you just give up.
You can't breathe. There's a ventilator down your throat. You're like, please get
wipe my ass.
Wipe my ass.
Hey, Middle Eastern countries don't use toilet paper.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the problem.
That's why they only use one hand when they eat.
Maybe the only thing
I'm
keeping
not
us.
kidding.
Maybe
No,
the
they have
only
a
thing
shit.
guys.
They have a
This is-
shit.
yeah.
They have a shit.
They
Yes.
just have a water bucket.
Yes.
Use
Did
it.
we
A
just
water
discover?
bucket.
Did we
Wow,
just
that's
discover?
That's
Sorry.
my food hand.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
calm down, everybody. Greg has found the cure. It's aloe vera. Wipe your asshole with aloe vera. You'll be fine.
That's witch hazel. That's what you need.
Yeah. That'll
We all
calm
know
things.
that.
Yep.
Listen, there's one thing you can turn to the issues with Andy Crew for. It's how to take care of your asshole when you've got 4 50-year-old white men. Yeah, this has become an issue we're all very, very aware of.
4 assholes discussing the latest topic concerning assholes.
And topics.
We got an
Topical.
asshole caller on the phone. What's your asshole question, asshole?
Long-time listener, first-time wife.
Hi, yeah, is the show at the Comedy Store going to be going still?
Next asshole.
You know what, though? I think that would have been the show that would have, James would have, there would have been industry, and they would have seen James' new act.
What industry?
Well,
Not
the one.
talent.
Yeah. Well,
I just like how Andy's building it up just in case it gets shut down so that you can pull a bigger rug out from under him.
Hilarious.
oh, it's already done.
Yeah, I've already
did
seen all of
send,
your guys' sets, so now that you say that, it doesn't bother me. I wanted to go podcast with you guys anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, maybe we'll
we'll
try to get Brendan Walsh involved in podcasting if we can, because that would have been the only that would have been a set that would have been worth watching.
yeah,
Well, Inman's going to make it out.
Oh, Inman's coming.
Yeah, he got a Spirit airline ticket, so he ain't going to be able to refund that shit, you know.
Well, you know for sure Spirit will be the last airline flying. Like they're not going to stop.
Yeah.
No.
Get on the plane.
I did send when I parted with Stan in Seattle. I did send him with microphones and cables to interview someone in San Francisco who is going to be in San Francisco next week. James Inman is going to be in San Francisco next week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I don't know if those shows are going to take place because there are more than 250 people.
No. Every time, Inman is like our
no.
Trump. Everything Inman touches turns to death. The shows are canceled.
Chaos.
Golden Gate Bridge is closed.
I love that you guys too. It's like a community of like elders and like I don't know, like a movie or something like Lord of the Rings where you're all gonna blame Inman now for this happening. It was your success that caused everybody's downfall.
It's
You
Lord
couldn't
of the
just fill
Flies.
your place and sit
Piggy.
there.
He's Piggy in Lord of the Flies.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the analogy that I needed.
Just watching his blood spill in front of us will give us such a rush that it'll make whatever bullshit we said about him worth it and justified. It's true.
James Inman finally gets the conch shell to make a statement, which is the Comedy Store.
No, earthquake hits. Oh, good job, Inman.
Wait, I have the shell. I have the shell.
The last time he had the conch shell, he said something so stupid. He was there was a coup that usurped him from the role of king of the party, and he was replaced by Ichabod. So, I mean, from that point forward, he has never been given the conch again. So this is what happens. He finally got a hold of it, and God said, "Nah."
Yeah, we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I might need a second bloody today.
Yeah, I'm about to go make one right now. If you guys will pardon me, it'll take me just a second.
All right, let's go in shifts.
Yeah, when he gets back, I'll make one. Yeah, I think that
Chad was there when I recorded the podcast that I just put out for Stanhope, and I edited it the other night, and I don't remember saying a word on it. I was so fucking drunk, and like that whole time I'm editing, on cringing. It was the one when I broke the screen.
Is that
the whole
one
time?
with,
I'm like,
is that with Lisa?
What? No, that was the one before that.
Okay.
This one was us drunk trying to get a bunch in the bank so that I could release them while we were on. And it's been a month since I had recorded it, and I'm 11 minutes in, and I'm like, I don't like editing anyway, and I'm having to listen to myself fucking drunky McDrunkfuck, and I know what's coming. I know what's coming, but I'm like, hurry up and break that fucking screen because I know you stopped talking, you fucking moron. I didn't even put. I tweeted about it, but I tweeted an apology, and I didn't even tweet the link.
Dude, I get it.
I'm like, I wish this was Patreon, because then no one would be hearing it.
Yeah, they do that on Intervention. They'll play.
It's especially.
You want to hear how you sounded last night, or John Taffer likes to do that too.
Yeah.
Here you are. Oh God.
Oh, it's bad. Chad did. I'm talking about the podcast that just went out, and it was the second one of the 3 we did where I broke the screen.
I wondered.
Yeah, and you did come to my defense quite a bit. Well, I'll leave the cliffhanger for the next one on what happened after. But yeah, you did come. I thank you for that, because you kept saying like he really is drunk, guys. We're all drunk. He's just drunk. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's funny.
That was a hard one to edit.
I bet. Oh, those were. We just got. That was what, the third one, fourth one.
That was the second one, and then
there's all back to back.
The third one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then we did 2. We did 2 after that with Bird Cloud, and that other one is actually those 2 Patreon ones. That's the second one's going to go out at the end of this month, and that one was the opposite of this last one. I actually enjoyed the podcast and listening to it. So I'm saving that for Patreon.
Was that the full Bird Cloud or half Bird Cloud?
Well, yeah.
Or the Bird Cloud story, anyway.
Yeah. We got some of it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm curious to hear. I know it was when they toured with Mishka that the seeds of doubt were planted at their lifestyle.
I don't know if it was one single thing. It's really their story to tell.
Yeah. Could you imagine their act right now? It's like, the club's a little sketchy about the audience being in, and they're like making out and pulling their underpants up and breathing on the crowd and such. Might not work. Yeah, it's fucking crazy though. Like a week ago, right? Like I wore the stupid mask as a goof.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, shit, man. I learned all about how I was, I did that wrong anyway. Like, you know, like there's no chance I ain't getting this.
People in the news that have tried to downplay it over the last 2 weeks are now being reported as being in quarantine.
Right. Oh yeah,
as if we're mocking it.
Right. That's hilarious, but it's like, this will, in a month, 2 months, it's going to be a whole different feeling on this shit. It's like, what's it like? The NCAAs, everything pulled the plug on it. There's no events. There's nothing. People are going to be stuck at home with their other people. And it's like, what's that? There's going to be all kinds of weird shit in a couple of fucking months. But maybe it's just overhyped, and it'll seem like they pulled the plug early on this shit. But we don't really have what you'd call aggressive leadership. We gotta, it's like it's like the perfect storm of like, everything that you could do fucking wrong is what's going on. So it's like, well, Italy's kind of.
So Andy, how does this change your day to day?
I like to get out and fucking go around. I may not like to hang out in a fucking close proximity with people, but I don't want to be like, stuck someplace. I go out and do stuff. I can do that. I guess I can still write. If you're not, who knows?
From what I can tell, you're closer to Dr. Doolittle than someone who's out among the masses of people. You're hanging out with the turkeys and the squirrels and going out for runs and stuff.
Look, I don't hang out with the turkeys. I coexist.
He only hangs out with the squirrels.
You cannot let the turkeys be your friend. They won't. They're not capable of friendship. I've tried. Plus, they shit in the driveway and my dog eats it. So it throws off the ecosystem a little bit. I don't know. I mean, it's like I was gonna go to Tool. They probably aren't going to have the concert tonight.
Oh shit, that was tonight?
Yeah. But
I would
everything's
love
been
to see
canceled.
Tool right now. Yeah, that's not happening.
They haven't pulled it yet, so maybe.
I mean, but didn't Oregon just pass a law that said there's no groups of over 250? So it's canceled, dude. There's going to be more than 250 people at the Tool.
Oh, I know,
concert.
and the people, and that's like people that would go to a Tool concert aren't going to stay home because they might infect. They're not going to stay home. Yeah, they're not going to stay home because they might infect the herd, kill somebody.
Yeah,
that's a Tool. That's Tool's fucking audience's fucking dream at night.
Absolutely.
They just created a giant herd of bar hoppers. Is all they did.
Yeah. What's the name of their new album? Isn't it some like infectious?
Inoculum, I think it is.
Yeah, Inoculum.
Yeah, it sounds like it's infection related.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, we've got tickets to see Rage Against the Machine and Run the Jewels in May. So hopefully this has stopped killing people. By
first
then,
round will be over by May. Yeah, you will be entering
Hopefully.
second round. Yeah, reinfection.
That'll be sweet.
Yeah, fall's gonna be the good one, I hear.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the comeback.
Yeah. Can you get it twice? I mean, there's no like. I have only heard one person anecdotally say they had coronavirus and what it was like. And all the news, media, and he said it was like
Tom Hanks has it. Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like the guy said it's like it's like the flu, only worse. Like a higher temperature, longer duration, and more suffering, I guess. So, that's like a Saturday. That's like a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
Hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah. More suffering.
You fucking deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's going to be embarrassing if you get, as you're dying of it and going, man, everybody's going to think I'm weak.
I'm a pussy now.
Yeah. I thought you had a better immunity system, pussy. What happened?
Especially since that's it.
Little borderline diabetes, huh? That was the quarantine office. They just quarantined. They just quarantined the lower quadrant.
Skype has just shut down all calls higher than 4.
They shut down the lower
3.
left quadrant.
It would be great if the Hennigan puppet appeared in that quadrant right now.
Don't worry, there's nothing to be alarmed about.
The UK is not involved in the travel ban.
It's like man. One by one they're disappearing. Click. He's out.
For those about to cough, we salute you.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good though. I got a lot of vodka. I got a tin of edibles.
You're in I don't know if it was true, but when I ran's a strong word for it, but when I participated in marathons, they said one time the guy or there was an announcement saying, as you start this, remember if you finish, you'll be in the top 1% of people who've, like it's a real small percentage of people who compete, participate and finish a marathon. So, so you got to feel pretty fucking good about that. You finished.
Yeah. If I don't know if people know that.
Well,
I ran the marathon on Sunday, LA Marathon.
And would you say ran's a strong word for it too?
Running. Yeah, but dude, I've been running now for a little bit, so like I knew how I was going to do it. So I didn't run fast at all ever. So I was able to run almost all of it. But it was crazy. It was unlike anything because first of all, it went from Dodger Stadium, which is near downtown LA, all the way to the Santa Monica Pier, and it started at 6:55 a.m. And so you have to get there with 25,000 other people, and there's only one gate going into the stadium that's open because the race runs around the stadium, so they can't have people driving in there to drop people off. So it was a complete fucking clusterfuck getting in there, and then on top of so you had to be there at before 6:55, and it's a hour at least drive to the stadium now because of that. And then that became worse from traffic. So I got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And not only that, it was the day after fucking daylight savings time kicked in. So I got up at 3 in the fucking morning.
Wow.
And it was a nightmare. And I
You
still
could have
got there
almost
late.
you could have almost
So, like,
ran
it's-
across your coked up self. Like, whoa,
Dude,
it's on time continuum.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I could have fucking shut down the whole universe, dude. This whole timeline would have been fucking pooped out of existence before the coronavirus even hit us. But yeah, dude, so it was a shit show. Like I had all this, it was cold, so I had like a sweatshirt and sweatpants and shit on. And you're supposed to be able to put your stuff into a gear bag and then give it to them and they'll take it to the finish line and meet you there. But they close that shit down like 10 minutes before the race starts so that they can drive the thing to the fucking, other side of the city.
In case
But I didn't
someone's really fast.
I didn't get there. I didn't get there in time for that because of the traffic. Even though I left at 5:30 in the morning in an Uber, I still didn't get there by 6:45. So I had all this shit on. I just had to fucking strip it off and just leave it. Like Dodger Stadium looked like fucking looked like the Gaza Strip after the fucking an Israeli strike. Like it was insanity. So the first I finally got out of the Uber. The race had already started. I fucking jogged across the parking lot, hit the porta potty for a quick piss, ripped all my clothes off and just kept running right out onto the fucking start and out onto the thing. Like there was no do a little stretching, fucking talk to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
It was frantic, dude.
I can't imagine that. Yeah. I got there. Well, I mean, the Big Sur obviously is a different vibe than what you're dealing with. And it was like everybody's having bagels. The women are greasing up their nipples. And it's like, what's this all about?
I saw no nipple greasing was happening around.
You just jumped right in it without any foreplay.
It was fucking crazy, man.
Holy shit! Yeah, I can't imagine that.
And I will say this: once you start running the marathon, you realize that it is a lot like moving to Los Angeles. You have a long time to live with your terrible decision.
I thought you were going to say everywhere you went, you were stuck with industry talk. Yeah, I'm doing really good. Pitching a show.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to do it again.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing if there's any coronavirus in that pack, you're probably a couple days from fucking cold sweats.
Well,
heavy breathing around people.
Yeah, I stayed away from everybody. I mean, I know it's kind of packed at first, but I felt like I was moving. I was keeping as far away from people as I could. That's just my general disposition. That wasn't any sort of
social distance.
right.
Social
move.
That was social distancing by not being in good shape.
Yeah. The virus passed me and moved on to mile 2.
Yeah.
Body type social.
Let's just say
distancing.
you let the virus outpace you.
It's been my strategy for most everything in life, so
yeah,
it works again. Yeah.
At least AIDS, you got somebody in the ass, right? This virus.
Well, 50% of them did.
Yeah. Different story for the other 50.
Yeah. But the other guy.
You can still do that with this virus. You can still do that with coronavirus if you want.
Mm-hmm. Now hookers that wouldn't kiss on the mouth look like they knew what they were doing, right? Years ago. Like, hey, come on, baby. No mouth
Head of
kiss.
the curve.
Wait, you letting me kiss you? Snatch. It's just stuff I saw on that HBO show I'm talking about. I'm just quiet in here.
We're all imagining you get a hooker and eating her snatch. I didn't know anybody did that.
Like I have money.
I was trying to think of which HBO show you were talking about.
Wasn't that Hookers in the Point? Was that HBO?
Oh, that was years ago. I'm trying to figure out how you watched McMillions and you saw ass eating.
McMillions was fun, right? I like that. I like the greed of it. I would do that too. Who wouldn't do that? Take a game piece. Like, oh, wait, I'm
What are you
fucking
guys
over
talking
McDonald's.
about?
Yeah,
You know, that's a
What
game.
is
yeah. The HBO docu-series McMillions that was all about the guy who ran the scam stealing tickets in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was
millions of
pretty,
dollars? He'd get the game slips and then give them to sell them to people, or he had a whole.
no, yeah,
scam.
you don't have to give. Yeah, you don't have to give too much of it away. The only part this doesn't give anything away. The part that I loved the most, there was one guy at the end who they asked him like, "Would you do it again?" And he said, "Tomorrow."
Yeah.
And that was the favorite part of the whole thing because he was like, it was fucking great. And you know, he was the guy who had been to prison for like selling drugs internationally or whatever, and did like a stretch for like 10 years. So he knew exactly what he was up against. And when it all started happening, he was the most interesting guy to me because he was like, and then they showed up at my door, and I knew what that meant. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. That was I've been wondering if I should watch that.
Ted, you'll love it. You'll love it.
All right,
Yeah,
check
I mean, and they didn't even really get into the whole question of it, but I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, like if you could fuck over a Starbucks, like or any, you know, like, you know, it would take me like 1 minute to be able to justify it with any company almost. Like,
Well, that's
they did
what's
that.
always amazing to me is when someone steals something from work, and it's like for $5,000, you did this. I mean, you're definitely going to go to jail, but for $5,000? I mean, I remember one guy answering a question about someone stealing at work in like a column somewhere, and he says, "Look, man, don't do anything unless it's at least a year's amount of pay. And let that be your baseline of when you will I do this or not? It has to be at least one total year's amount of pay to be even considerable. But to get like, you know, it's like someone getting killed for $7.80 in his front pocket. You know, it's like how senseless is that? You know, but McMillions, that's people are clicking on that to figure out how to scam $1 million from McDonald's.
Millions. Yeah, in the military, that's
that was good, man.
The word steal, you don't use the word when to steal because you're dealing with the government. You just use the word acquire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was acquire, but you can acquire all sorts of things easily when you're in the military from the government. Nobody ever thinks twice about it because it's the government. Fuck you, right?
Well, they show you that in the Dirty Dozen, or you know, they got the requisition guy who can get the T-bone steaks, and then you know, how'd you get them golf tees for the colonel? It's like, well, you just don't ask questions. But I mean, that's real, right, Chad?
Yeah,
I mean, you know that.
You were like a really tough Radar O'Reilly, huh? I almost fucked that. Radar O'Reilly. Okay, there.
Well, Chad, you worked for the motor pool, so
that was one of those jobs. There's one being a mechanic, being a cook, being in supply.
Yeah, cook.
All of those are positions, you know, because the cook can hook you up with the stuff, you know.
It's just like prison. It's just like prison.
You'd hook us up with ice when we'd have parties. We'd go and fill our ice chests from the big giant ice machine at the mess hall because you're friends with the cook. The same thing with
it's the same as prison.
I used to have it is similar.
Cook has power.
Yep.
You
know. The medic lived down the hall from us, and we'd all hung over.
Yeah,
we'd go down there.
Prison.
Go ahead, Erickson.
No, I was gonna say it's the same as prison. All the guys are fucking each other.
No.
Better uniforms and bigger exercise area.
The trade-off thing, you know, like one of the things.
Better fitting.
Yeah.
The medic we'd go and get IV bags from when you're all hungover, and you'd had class on how to give an IV already for your combat medic, so that you could just give yourself an IV and rehydrate. It was a nice trade system. We went to the field one time and it was freezing cold, and I learned how to repair an Arctic heater in Alaska. And the week before we went up there, I just went through it and took one completely apart and put it back together. So I knew every way to do it. Man, you wouldn't believe it was 70 below up there, and I was living like a king. People were keeping me warm as shit. I was working inside of a big bay. I had a line of people for me to fix their heaters, and people bringing me chocolate milks from the mess hall. It's like Andy said, it's like prison. People. So I was good at it.
You
I missed
know
it.
you're in a shitty situation. You know you're in a shitty situation when the best thing they can bring you is chocolate milk.
Yeah.
And you take
toilet
it.
paper,
You
and
take it.
chocolate
I'll
milk.
take
It was 70 below zero. The best thing they brought me was a fucking garage to work in because usually
Hell yeah.
out in there, I had my hands stuck to wrenches because they were so cold. You'd have to jump back in the vehicle and hold your hand in front of the heater and wait for it so you could let go of the wrench because it was stuck to your
I
skin.
actually, when I was up in Alaska
Jesus
in
Christ.
96, I think it was, no, 99, working at the radio station, I had a piece of shit truck that Duran let me have, and it had a hole, like Fred Flintstone. It had a hole, right? You could see the ground going by, right? It was a piece of shit truck. And I actually got frostbite on my hands trying to change the thermostat in the truck, because it was at night, because I had no time to work during the day because I was on the air, and I was trying to do this at night, and my hands were getting wet, and then they were just, I fucking Southern California, I don't fucking know. And then someone's like, you see all that skin coming off? You have mild frostbite on your fingers. And all I was trying to do was tighten a couple of screws on a fucking thermostat cover. It happened so fast.
Jesus Christ.
Good times.
Yeah, we were so that same field problem. We were so cold in there, you couldn't let you shut your vehicles off because everything would freeze up. So you'd let the vehicles run all night long, and in the morning you'd have to back them out, and they'd go to the fuel point and fill up with fuel. This one had an oil leak that sat there and dripped all night long. They backed out of there to go get fuel. I went over and snapped it off. It was about 2.5 feet long of an oil. The oil's not supposed to fucking freeze. That shit had dripped.
Jesus
Drip,
Christ.
freeze, drip, freeze, drip, freeze, and made a big oil sickle. You can't tell it's me because you can just see this much of me because I'm all fucking in winter fucking geared up, but I'm fucking laughing my ass off holding this fucking oil sickle. That was incredibly.
Yeah, I think you'd have to go and check out your oil supplier. I think he's fucking tainting your fucking oil.
Might be watering it down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I did get that was a field problem. I got 50 below club, they called it, for participating in field operations in excess of 50 below zero. So we lived outside and it was 50 below for like a month.
Fairbanks?
God.
I think it was called Fort Greeley, but I'm trying to think. Maybe it was by the Delta Junction. I think is that maybe where it's called. It's where the other uphills live over near there.
Yeah. Delta Junction's out where the uphills live. But yeah, there's so many places out there where it's just fucking nothing.
Fort Greeley is where we were, though, right in the middle of Alaska, coldest of them.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fuck that.
Yeah. I was up there with Stanhope once in Fairbanks, and just remember the dash to the car being fucking almost more than I could take. It's like you get hit with that fucking freeze. Okay, this is freezing. And then 30 or whatever. It was like, I don't know what the wind chill factor was, but it was, fucking unbelievable. Yeah, people live there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's warming up. I mean, this is a few years ago. It's probably, pretty pleasant. Pretty pleasant nowadays.
It's down to
it's no worse
up to
than Florida.
20 below.
Yeah. The summers in Fairbanks were nice.
But they were a week and a half long.
You get a good three solid months.
You get. That's where all the fucking.
Shaylee cut out on me.
Shaylee's froze.
Yeah, I never know if it's just Shaylee cutting out on us or if it's just me not hearing all of you. So that's why I end up getting quiet.
I know you got to look at the others and Shaylee's froze. Erickson's moving his head.
I'm in a car again, and it's poor reception. So
yeah,
we just got word.
I know it's crazy.
You got to cancel the podcast. We're canceling it until further notice.
4 is too many to be in a call.
I wish if I could have done it in the shop, but they're working until right now, so he's actually giving him a half day today, so I could have done it later, but
Is it too late for
yeah.
you guys to switch into like like that one you posted a few pictures on our little link there, the one
Yeah.
sickly. You should do more sickly looking plague ravaged people for this year's.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't know that
Or is it too soon?
I think we're rethinking the patient zero prop. It's a little too on the nose.
No shit,
I think it'll be a good seller by Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe do terrorist bombers and let us ease into the ground zero patient for the new one, you know.
This year it's
Hey, with the proper amount of laminate, you can turn a beloved old person into a scary Halloween prop. Just pour some hot plastic over Grandpa when he succumbs to the illness. Put him in the yard by a pumpkin.
Have you ever worked with fiberglass resin? Just watch this easy YouTube video.
Yeah. That's not even that far off from what's happening, because I read a story this morning that in Italy, they were this is an issue, that there are people who have died from coronavirus at home and no one will come get them now. Like, I mean, by now they have, but there were some stories of people spending 36 hours, 48 hours with their recently deceased grandma because no one can come get them because they're overrun and they're like, there's no reason to, we can't do it. You're just going to have to wait.
Sounds like every dinner I've ever had at Olive Garden.
Somebody come get Grandma.
Yeah, these dead Italian people are starting to smell up my section. Jesus. Yeah, no, it's that's fucked up, man. It's like it's like the world's Katrina. We're all gonna be
competition.
It really is. Well, it really is, and I've been just to say this, like, Chad, you're completely right that it is just the flu, and on some level, but the issue with it is that you keep hearing about this whole flattening the curve thing, where what they have to do to make sure we can deal with it is make sure that everybody gets it over a 6-week or 8-week period instead of everyone getting it in the same week. If you get it, everyone gets it in the same week, people can't come get the dead people at your house.
Portion of it.
Doesn't it feel like right now we're at a time where we're just like getting, we're having pre-show cocktails, getting ready to go hear Great White. It's like, hey, man, I wonder if they're going to play the classics. Of course they are, man. How many people can you get into the station? That's a long line going in there.
I saw them do Once Bitten, Twice Shy 2 weeks ago. The pyrotechnics were amazing, dude. Just wait. Wait, dude.
Yeah, pre-drinks, and then cut to everybody's heads in the doorway, all out of breath and shit, waiting for a ventilator. Like, wait, what happened, man? I got here late for the show. Looks like I kicked ass.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we're pre-gaming the apocalypse, right?
Right. Yeah, it seems like the fucking the worst. It's like it's gonna be fucking intense here.
And you're not cynical enough. You're too hopeful.
I know.
Yeah, that sounds pretty positive.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if this is hopeful or not, and I got in trouble for this of spending money, but I got some flower seeds, and I've been planting flower seeds. And the hopeful part is maybe they'll be grown enough to put on my grave or whatever later. I can't afford a grave.
Doesn't your squirrel dig all that shit up? Your nasturtiums?
Well, I'm putting chicken wire over, putting wire over it so the flowers can sprout.
Wire's gonna stop James Inman.
Yeah,
stop chickens.
I haven't seen the squirrel since this whole coronavirus. I wonder if they're like, taking off, and he ripped the shit out of. I caught him out here, James Inman the squirrel, ripping up a plastic tablecloth on the table, just shredding it, and then it took. I saw it, and it had a long piece of plastic hanging out its mouth, and it took off and ran with it. I'm like, okay, and then that was, that was before all the news hit, but it's like, what the fuck is going on here? This is not like the squirrel. This is not what it usually does.
So you
It
think
usually,
the squirrel knew? You think the
Yeah.
squirrel knew something?
yeah, it's building a plastic nest up in the trees. And something's going on.
The way
You
it,
know?
A bubble.
the
It's
way a
building
dog
a
can
bubble.
tell there's going to be an earthquake.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, Yeah, well, it's like, when you see, birds flying off and shit or whatever, it's like something bad's going to happen. And it is. I mean, fuck. Yeah. The Unbookable show really
Good.
started. James Inman should have kept his fucking mouth shut and left it alone. Because the Unbookables, it says in the Bible, where 4 Unbookables gather after their shit release and their shit re-release, if 4 Unbookables get together, that will rein in the fucking plague. It
The
killed
4
Rouse.
the 4
Rouse,
unbookables of
yeah,
the
John
apocalypse.
Rouse knew about it. We talked about this. Sean's like, they're going to kill us. They're going to kill us before we have a reunion.
He knew it.
Yeah. But James Inman, he kept asking questions. Just leave it alone,
Mhm.
James. Haven't enough people
Yeah.
died, James, for your fucking show? You fucking dumbass.
Well, Andy, to
Yeah.
be fair, you were the first to jump on and agree to do it. So I mean, as much as you
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'd have to look at a
You were the
timeline
first
of
one
things.
on
I think
the hill.
Mishka was probably the one who paved the way for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems
He
like
jumped
you know.
off
it doesn't matter.
Either way, we
Jay-
don't care, and Inman does,
it-
and that's what's causing the virus to spread.
Yes, right. Yes, he's the one who's practicing poor hygiene. He's not. We have washed our hands of the unbookables.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we washed our hands, but apparently we didn't wash them long enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
your hand sanitizer was expired.
You got to wash
Yeah.
your hands while singing Mishka's Gideon's Bible. And then your hands are still filthy, but you won't have any money in them.
Fuck.
Hey guys, I gotta jump back inside and see what's happening.
All right.
Quarantine.
I think that's fine. I think we've podcasted. I think we've
I think we-
successfully podcasted once again.
We put on
I'm
a
proud
break.
of us.
We're done.
Put on-
I can do this. Get my sanitizer.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Any
does anything,
contact with people,
Hey.
you're supposed to sanitize, guys.
hey, anyone have anything to plug? Anybody going anywhere, flying anywhere, doing anything interesting, leaving the country?
Go get a
Well,
bidet. Get a
Yeah.
bidet.
Tell you
Get
what,
online and
absolutely.
order yourself a bidet. Try to use another service besides Amazon. I don't know if that's possible, but get yourself a bidet. It's $40. It takes 5 minutes to hook up to your toilet. Start washing your ass. Whether this pandemic kills you or not, you will be fucking thankful you did. And we will always be the people that you look back at and say, it was those 4 dicks that had me start washing my ass.
You know,
So
just to,
do
you know,
that.
well, before even investing, take a glass of warm water and go outside after you take a shit and just spread your legs apart and pour that water down your crack.
Listen,
And
don't
see if
get
you
used
have
to
a
that
place
warm
in
water.
the house where you can do that too. And it's called the bathtub.
No, do it in the front yard.
You have to go outside and pour warm water on your ass.
Yeah, but you don't want to be in a place where you can get locked in with the, the virus.
Oh,
You go outdoors.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I have decks.
This is part. Remember, you're gonna have a whole ass washing service outside.
That's
This
true.
will be part
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
He's
So
hosing down asses for the
Okay,
skate
so
club.
keep your assholes clean and catch that virus as soon as you can, so we can get back to watching sports again, huh? Come on, yo.
Yeah,
that's not going to change my life one bit.
I need Winnipeg,
Not one iota.
Calgary in the NHL. Come on, man. Champions League
Yeah,
games
this is the-
got canceled.
Yeah, Tracy's bummed because this is actually a winning year for her Edmonton Oilers for the first time ever. And I
That's
think
great.
did NHL drop out yet? I think they were.
Yeah, they suspended today.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
imagine the UFC doesn't do
Everything's
the
fine.
same thing, but I haven't watched UFC for I think almost a year now. So
Well, this is going to get
I'm-
everybody's like,
I'm
you know,
completely unaffected as well.
all the
Shaley.
distractions are out of the way, and we can enjoy what is our lives, right?
That's
You know, we'll see. Oh, I didn't really. I guess I'm not a sports fan. I just really hate my life.
it.
I don't even know
Oh, you
what's
haven't
going on
realized that yet? Fuck.
Turns out I don't even like soccer. I just
quit-
don't like paying attention to what's actually happening around me.
I quit watching sports with that same realization over and over, and never carried it over from NASCAR to football, baseball.
Yeah.
I just don't want to drink for no reason on a Sunday morning, so I watch NASCAR. I got you.
Yeah.
A sports
Yeah.
enthusiast is just a depressive who won't admit it.
That's exactly right.
Get myself out of all my
All right, Shaylee, get back to work.
Yeah, watch that hand.
like-
I saw that hand up. Clean
Oh,
that.
shit.
Wash your
Sorry,
hands.
yeah.
Wash your hands.
I just touched myself.
every-
though.
That
That
one
doesn't
too.
matter.
That one.
Don't
Be
touch
safe.
your face.
Oh
Stop
Jesus!
touching your
Chad just
face.
did that shit.
And we've already all
Pick my nose
self-quarantined,
for a little while.
I'm gonna go shave my mustache.
No, you're not. You're gonna keep it going.
Yeah,
Hey, if
I
you
need-
can,
I
No,
need it. I
add
need
to-
it for Tool street cred.
let that thing happen, because if that
It's not gonna grow in by tonight. There it is. It's always the Andy mic drop. There's like, this is the best thing. This podcast actually ends with a literal mic drop every week. That was perfect.
Erickson, by the way the screens are, you bent over, it looked like you pulled his mic down.
We can work around.
I love it.
I fucking love you guys. This is my favorite hour of the week. Be good, be safe, wash your hands. That's I don't need. I've been saying the names at the end, but I feel like that's stupid. If you are watching at this point, you know who that is.
Hey,
So
if you get a
we'll see you
chance,
next
I'll
time.
be at the local ER and say hi. Say hi as I wheel by. No, I don't have insurance.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, by the time this goes out, the Baltimore and Boston shows would have already happened, and I don't know that they're SFO
By tomorrow?
Stanhope. Well, tonight's Baltimore, and tomorrow is tomorrow's Boston, but it'll already been going on. So I don't know what's going on. Doug will tweet about what's happening for San Francisco and for Denver, but as far as I know, subscribe to the podcast on Patreon. I love that. That's a lot of fun, and we got a good one coming up next month. And as always, go to DougStanhope.com to get dates and information about everything Stanhope.
That's it. Like and subscribe to Issues with Andy, and we'll see you.
We'll see you next spring.
We're always here. This is a perfect environment for us.
Yeah. We all got our little biodomes. We're protected.